Dear students, in the last class we learned about some of the methods that I use for disposal of solid waste. Now let us learn some other methods which can be adopted for the disposal of solid waste. One such method is composting. Composting is a beneficial method for managing domestic biodegradable waste. The product obtained in a few weeks is called compost and is very rich in plant nutrients and is used as a fertilizer in organic farming. Composting is the process of plant biodegradation of organic matter by microorganisms under controlled conditions either in open pits or in enclosed bins. This process is accomplished by providing the right conditions for bacteria and fungi to convert the organic waste to compost. Open window composting means composting in open pits and it requires relatively large land areas and the waste has to be turned or mixed every few days. Enclosed mechanical composting, which uses enclosed bins, employs closed tanks or digesters equipped with rotating panes to mix the waste. In either case, the product is a fiber-rich carbon-containing humus with inorganic plant nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. The compost is removed periodically every few weeks and used as a fertilizer. In anaerobic composting, decomposition occurs where oxygen is absent or in limited supply. But in aerobic composting, decomposition takes place in the presence of ample oxygen. In aerobic composting, the processing time is shorter and methane emissions to the environment are considerably avoided. Composting objectives may also be achieved through the incorporation of enzymatic degradation of organic materials as they pass through the digestive system of earthworms. This process is termed vermicomposting and mimics natural decomposition of waste material by microorganisms. Vermicomposting of the waste is done in a pit lined with dried leaves. By introducing a culture of earthworms under moist conditions, fertile compost is obtained in about 45 days. Compost used in the form of a fertilizer supplies essential elements needed by the plants and allows the soil to retain plant nutrients over a long period. It reduces the adverse effects of excessive acidity and alkalinity, reduces the necessity for chemical fertilizers, and makes the soil easier to cultivate and prevents soil erosion. Now let us discuss what are the advantages of composting. One is the waste management through conversion to compost not only provides a means of disposal at reduced cost but also provides economic returns. The waste gets effectively recycled rather than getting disposed of by composting for beneficial purposes. Third one is since composting can be done near the places of waste generation, it saves the cost of transporting waste. Fourth one is composting provides a means of waste disposal at virtually zero energy consumption. Fifth one is composting provides possibilities for community participation. Sixth one is composting is particularly aerobic composting is environmentally sound, and aerobic composting transforms a range of organic material into inorganic materials through microbial decomposition, and methane emissions are avoided. Next one is composting saves space in landfills. Next one is the final product compost, which has no resemblance to the original waste, is devoid of pathogenic organisms. There are some limitations associated with composting, which are the waste containing significant amounts of non-biodegradable waste like plastic, heavy metals, etc. are not suitable for composting. So, a thorough removal of non-biodegradable portion of the waste is required before composting. Next one is if the market for compost is in the vicinity of the generation site is inadequate, considerable transportation costs may be involved. The next method that can be used for disposal of solid waste is biogasification or anaerobic digestion. Biogasification is also called anaerobic digestion or AD. It is a process that breaks down organic matter in the solid waste in the absence of oxygen to facilitate the release of a gas known as biogas. The inorganic or organic residue left after anaerobic digestion is called digestate. Since methane-rich biogas is produced in the process, it is also called biogasification or biomethanation. Biogas is a mixture of methane, which is 40 to 70%, carbon dioxide, and water, along with small amounts of other gases. That is, organic waste can convert into methane, carbon dioxide plus water. Biogas can be used as a fuel for variety purposes including domestic and commercial cooking, as a natural gas substitute in vehicles and for production of electricity. The digestate, which is the organic residue left over, is a nutrient-rich byproduct of anaerobic digestion and which can be used as a fertilizer and soil improver. Anaerobic digestion of biodegradable organic waste uses bacteria and an oxygen-free environment to degrade the waste. It is carried out in an enclosed space under controlled conditions of temperature, moisture, pH, etc. The enclosed space is called a digester, wherein the waste mass undergoes decomposition, generating biogas. There are various types of biogas plants. The digester of a biogas plant consists of a digestion tank, which is thermally insulated, a heating system, mixer system, and discharge systems for sediments and the substrate. The digestion process consists of two main phases. In the first phase, proteins, carbohydrate, and fats are converted into fatty acids, amino acids, and alcohols. These are then converted into methane, carbon dioxide, and other gases, including ammonia and hydrogen sulfide in the second phase. Solid waste including animal excreta and poultry litter, which is waste from chicken farms, food waste from domestic, commercial and industrial sources, green waste from park and gardens can be used as feedstock for the digester to produce biogas. During the past 25 years, biogas plants have become a common feature of rural areas in several countries including India. Now let us discuss what are the advantages of anaerobic digestion or biogasification. First one is biogas produced from anaerobic digestion of solid waste forms an important fuel for cooking. Second one is biogas can be compressed like natural gas and used as fuel in motor vehicles. Third one is biogas can be used in a gas engine to convert its energy into heat and electricity. Fourth one is the digestate from biogas plants can be used as a fertilizer and soil improver. Next one is anaerobic digestion provides a means of getting rid of waste in an environmentally sound as well as cost-effective and profitable manner. Next one is anaerobic digestion method reduces the land requirement for municipal solid waste disposal. And last one is anaerobic digestion method avoids contamination of groundwater and surface water sources by any leachate. Now let us discuss what are the limitations of anaerobic digestion. Biogas plants require a consistent source of degradable organic matter. Also, the waste fed into a biogas plant must be free from non-biodegradable organic materials like plastic. That means a careful separation of plastic from the waste is essential. Also, there has to be a sustainable demand for the generated biogas in the vicinity of the plant at appropriate profitable conditions. Also, there should be a market potential for the digestate produced during the process as manure in order for the process to be economically viable. That means there should be a market for the biogas and also the digestate from the digester. Next method of recycling solid waste or disposing solid waste is recycling. Recycling is the process by which materials that are destined for disposal are separated, collected, processed and remanufactured into reusable forms. Materials like paper, plastics, metals and glass are recycled in many parts of the world. Each type of material for recycling is carefully separated from the accumulated solid waste. For recycling plastic, metals and glasses, the separated material is cleaned by washing. Then the processes are fabricating or cutting, bending or fixing and then remelting followed by molding or extrusion, which means creating objects of a desired cross section. For example, in plastic recycling, thermoplastic scrap is cut into small pieces and then melted. It is then used for molding into useful objects by remelting and remolding. Similarly, discarded metal cans or glass articles are first crushed, melted in a furnace and molded into new useful objects. Recycling of paper involves first converting it into pulp or slurry using water and after a series of purification steps pressing it with heavy rollers into sheet. Recycling is a waste management strategy which is preferred and should be opted before going for any other waste processing or treatment facilities. Glass and metals can be recycled because the properties do not deteriorate by reprocessing. But for plastic, the quality of plastic after each processing cycle depends upon the type of plastic recycled. Paper can be recycled only a limited number of times as the quality of recycled product decreases with every processing cycle. That means we can recycle metals and glass for any number of times, but recycling paper and plastic is not possible any number of times. Now let us discuss what are the advantages of recycling. First one is recycling decreases the accumulation of all kinds of waste including municipal solid waste or MSW and industrial waste. Second one is recycling minimizes air, water and soil pollution because in recycling waste products are reused rather than being thrown into landfills. Recycling of non-biodegradable waste like plastic saves the world from toxic leakage. Third one is recycling protects the environment. For example, the use of recycled paper for various purposes decreases the need for cutting trees and thereby restricts deforestation. Fourth one is recycling reduces energy consumption because in the absence of recycled products, the energy required to be spent for the large-scale processing of fresh raw materials would be very high. Recycling of aluminum materials decreases the need for energy-consuming extraction of the metal from bauxite, which is the ore. Fifth one is recycling of old materials like metals and glasses ensures sustainable use of natural resources and conserves them. In the absence of recycled products, more fresh products would have been manufactured by mining and extraction of fresh raw materials from the earth's crust. Next one is recycling minimizes global warming. The process reduces the need for combustion of waste and thereby restricts the release of greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide. Also, waste recycling process require only the minimal use of fossil fuels. Next one is recycling generates job opportunities because recycling plants require workers. Now let us discuss the limitations of recycling. Recycling is associated with a few limitations which are building up a new recycling unit takes a lot of capital. Operating and maintaining a recycling unit is also cost intensive. Next one is products of recycled materials may be of inferior quality as compared to those manufactured with fresh raw materials. Next one is poor management of recycling site can lead to unhygienic and unsafe conditions for the workers. Waste spreads in these sites promote pathogen accumulation leading to spread of diseases and also causes release of toxic fumes. Thank you.